And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Guys, in today's video we're going to be taking a look towards the January transfer window. I know it is pretty far away, however, as you can see in the title there, you probably have seen the sort of reports start to emerge with regards to a former Rangers player in Ryan Kent. So I figured, you know what, let's have a look at January as a whole and maybe discuss what we actually need to get going forward. We'll just discuss the possibilities of Ryan Kent actually joining back to Rangers. We'll also go through some of the loan players that are currently out on loan at this moment in time, and talk about some of the players that could end up leaving this January also. So yeah, we'll just make a bit of it. As I said, not too much news as we are into the the international break, saying January transfer window there. But anyway, let's start with big Ryan Kent. Of course, Ryan Kent spent 5 years at Rangers, one of those on loan. And was a fan's favourite at the start, you know. Obviously came out on loan during Gerrard's first season, was really, really impressive. Then we ended up spending a lot of money on the player. We spent about £7 million, which for a Scottish club in this day and age is a lot of money. And especially where Rangers were, it was a huge risk at that moment in time in terms of to buy a player from Liverpool. As I said, it went on for that whole of the summer. But Rangers fans were really thrilled when he did end up joining the club permanently. And as I said, £7 million, and many thought from there Ryan Kent's sort of career trajectory would then go up. The reason why Rangers probably spent around £7 million on his services was because they probably seen that they could profit for him later on down the line, maybe £20-25 million, as we've seen with other players go for in the Scottish Premiership over the last couple of years. Rangers probably seen it as a very, very good investment. However, obviously in the summer he ended up leaving the football club for free. It was stated by Michael Beale that he didn't actually get offered a deal, and yeah, Ryan Kent left, and in the summer there was a host of clubs rumoured to be interested in him, some including some lower level Premier League clubs and Bundesliga clubs, but then made, of course, the move to Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce at this moment in time have spent a lot of money. The Turkish Super League is spending a lot of money in general, and teams are looking very, very good out in Turkey at the moment. And Ryan Kent was obviously joining this extraordinary Fenerbahce side that are currently top of the league and very, very good form both domestically and in Europe. However, it hasn't been plain sailing for Big Ryan at this moment in time. Of course, I'm on his sort of transfer market now. He's made 7 appearances so far in the Turkish Super League. Made 0 goals, 0 assists, and then of course he played some times in the Europa Conference League where he got 4 appearances, 1 assist, and then the qualifiers he played 3 games, 1 goal and 1 assist. So he's in really, really poor form, but this is no surprise to me with Ryan, because Ryan, for as much as a long time, you know, especially in his early years at Rangers, yes, he could have been that player that we dubbed him as something rather special. He gave us a creative outlook, but he never really put up the numbers for us. And especially in the later years, after the sort of title-winning season, maybe the run to the Europa League was his probably last best spell with the club. But certainly last season, he was a disgrace, really. That's honestly, I'm going to say. It looked like he downed tools. He just looked like a player that wasn't interested and certainly didn't come up with any of the goals or assists for Rangers. And of course, he's carried that form on into his new club in Turkey with Fenerbahce. It comes as no surprise to me, really. If you even look at some of the great, better players that have played down in the English Premier League, players really do struggle to go out to Turkey for some weird reason. I don't think it's a direct translation. No, it never really works out for English and Scottish players, and we've seen that case happen so many times. Just off the top of my head, for Rangers players, Chris Boyd, Kenny Miller, Alan McGregor was out there. I don't think he did too bad, but it doesn't really work out for English and Scottish players for whatever reason. Now, following his poor form, he has been sort of outed by his manager, and then reports have basically surfaced today, or yesterday should I say, that they are willing to let him go out on loan. I'm just going to say what a Turkish journalist did say. Fenerbahce can loan Ryan Kent to another team so that he can play more during the break. One team each from England and Scotland is currently following the player. Reports yesterday suggested that Fenerbahce boss Ismail Kamato believes Kent has been performing below expectations. The two have struggled to see eye to eye at times, with the 27-year-old being dropped completely from the squad back in September. Basically, it does remain to be seen what's going to be happening, but what does seem certain is that Ryan Kent will be going out on loan this January. Now, the thing is that raises the question for myself and a lot of Rangers supporters. You can see it there in the article, that one Scottish club. The only Scottish club that's going to be interested in Ryan Kent would be Rangers. Now, could I see a world in which Ryan Kent joins Rangers in January on loan? I probably could, actually. And under Clement, maybe it could get things going. But do I really want to go backwards? I don't think going backwards as a football team is actually something you should do. Generally, when you go back for a player or when you go back for a manager, it usually doesn't work out. Except from our football club. Usually it does. Walter Smith obviously came back for a second spell. Barry Ferguson came back for a second spell. Kenny Miller came back for 2 and 3 spells, and they all worked out fairly well. But usually the saying goes in football that it doesn't really work out the second time. And he left for a reason. Bearing in mind, this time last year he was in a Rangers jersey. He wasn't performing. But some fans would argue, look, if you can get him on a sort of free transfer, if you can get him on a loan, there's no risk there. And he can then go back to Turkey straight afterwards. Or maybe a buyout option. But I don't see a world in which Rangers would ever buy him. Whether it's a quick fix for loan, possibly, but why don't we look to the future? Why not get younger talents to come into the football team and to progress and look towards our future? Because Ryan Kent certainly isn't our future. We've had him for 5 years, and sometimes he was quite tough to watch, despite him giving us a creative outlook. But for me personally, I don't want to see Ryan Kent come back to Rangers, but I see a lot of fans on social media stating yes, it would be a no-brainer. But I always say under the affirmation that we should just constantly look forward and look to our youth. Now, with regards to the January transfer window, though, I do believe we do need to be making some signings. Of course, Lawrence Shankland have been very vocal about here on this channel. But I would also be taking a look at Yanis Hadji, of course, out on loan in La Liga at the moment. I would look at recalling him back in January and see if Clement can get the best out of him as a player. As I said, he's a player in a position that we're sort of lacking at this moment in time. So he's a player that I would certainly try and bring back in January and try and go in for Lawrence Shankland. People were saying money's going to be scarce this January, was something we're going to have to look out and see. But I don't think we should be going in for Ryan Kent. Just my personal opinion. Some people will agree, some people will disagree. But that's the matter of having an opinion with regards to football. But for me, the Ryan Kent train has run its course, and I don't see a world in which him joining, despite reports stating that he will. But it's over to you. What do you think, Rangers fans? What do you make of Ryan Kent's situation currently out in Turkey, out in Fenerbahce? And would you like to see him return back to Rangers on a short-term loan in January? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below. More to that fact, who do you think we need to sign in January? Do you agree with me? Do you think we should go in for Lawrence Shankland? Do you think we should be going in for other players? If so, who? Do you think we should be calling back the likes of Alex Lowry? Should we be calling back the likes of Yanis Hadji? Yes or no? As I stated, let me know down there in the comment section below. That does bring us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.